I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch and make me wanna say, damn. And yeah, you know what's up. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, baby. So come give me love. All of your love, I can't fake it. When I'm with you, my legs go weak. Yeah. Can you hear it? I think my heart just skipped a beat. Yeah. This feeling is getting so strong. Love me till the morning, love me all night long. There's something special about you. You're the one that I want. So come on, give me love. I'ma show you how to move with my body. Come hit me with your touch and make me wanna say, damn. And yeah, you know what's up. Ain't nothing I won't do for your body. So give me all you got right now. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, baby. So come give me love. All of your love. Won't you love me till the morning? Love me in the evening. You know what I want. Won't you hold me like I'm yours? Show me that I'm yours. You know just what I want. Won't you love me like the last time? Like our time was right now. Show me what it's about. Love me till the morning. Love me in the evening. You know what I want. I know I'm yours, baby. So come give me love. You know you're mine, baby. So come give me love. I never felt nothing quite like this. I get a high every time we kiss. Can't get enough, babe. So come give me love. All of your love. Won't you love me till the morning? Love me in the evening. You know what I want. Won't you hold me like I'm yours? Show me that I'm yours. You know just what I want. Won't you love me like the last time? Like our time was right now. Show me what it's about. Love me till the morning. Love me in the evening. You know what I want. All of your love.
Yeah, talking to my mirror like I love you so much. Curving on my critics like I heard you, so what? You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. Tally all the I ever gave on my head. Lately I've been living like I can't take a loss. They ain't wanna help me, that's what made me a boss. You can't kill my confidence, I think I'm the man. We don't give a that's what they don't understand.
I'm back again like flu season. I broke records while loose leafing. I'm coming down my roof, leaving. Don't give a I don't care. Did the for my lonesome. No wonder now I'm on one. No shortcuts on that long run. All I really want is my share. Get him, I got him. I told him it's nothing. In the discussion.
All right, good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome back to the show. Live, local, and vocal. We're live on YouTube this morning. We're not on Facebook this morning. We're on Restream Network. We're on the TuneIn Network, and we're also a part of Spreaker as well. Good morning, everybody. Hope you're well. On today's show, it's going to be a quick show, folks. I got a lot of stuff going on, and I only have time this morning to do about an hour or so. I know we're getting started a little bit later, but there's a bunch of stuff going on right now that is taking a lot of my attention early in the morning, unfortunately. But I want to make sure we do a show each and every day. It's very important to me that we connect. Good morning to you. On today's show, I want to talk about micro cheating. I came across a very interesting, it was a video post, actually. It was posted by Jada Smith, you know, the woman that's married to Will Smith. She got caught up in an entanglement. Remember that? Well, she posted a video yesterday, and it makes perfect sense because Tupac Shakur was the 20-year anniversary of his birthday, I believe. I'm sorry, of his death, and a lot of people were posting stuff about Tupac yesterday. We had a conversation about Tupac to some degree yesterday, and there's a lot of people um, that still have a lot of emotion about him. Of course, he was born on June 16th, 1971. He was a 70s baby, like myself and probably many of you as well. And she released a never before seen poem that he had written to her many years ago. She never revealed it to anybody, right? And so she reveals it yesterday to say, hey, listen, we had this relationship. So if you don't know, Jada Pinkett Smith and Tupac Shakur had a relationship, an entanglement, a situationship, whatever you want to call it, way before she even met Will Smith and they got married. As a matter of fact, Will Smith went on a Breakfast Club and he talked about his feelings about the relationship she had with him and some of the issues he had and things like that. It was very interesting. And I thought to myself, like, is that usual? Do people usually do that in relationships? So you're married for many years, but you're holding on to a poem or a pillow or a jacket or some kind of keepsake from a previous relationship. And is that micro cheating on some level? Is that like an emotional attachment that you should sever before you get into a marriage? I thought, let me throw it out to the choppers and think what they think. So I have done that. I want to get your thoughts about it. And I'm like, damn, how does Will feel about this? I mean, you sharing poems and shit? What we doing here? Why is a poem that another man gave you before you got married? You're married now with children. Why are you holding on to that? But maybe that's a very human thing. I'd like to know. People hold on to pictures and stuff like that. What are the rules in your relationship? I'm quite interested. 513-873-7134. Also, the GOP has shown their colors again. This vote about the Juneteenth becoming a federal holiday has become a test, a litmus test on the consciousness of the individual legislators that actually voted on it. To me, it's a no-brainer. I don't understand why anybody would vote against it, but you did. And here in the city of Cincinnati, is being widely reported that you have some local legislators that voted against it as well. So I'll tell you the why we can speculate. We'll talk about that as well. 513-873-7134. If you'd like to share your thoughts this morning, I would love to hear them. I am here for them this morning. Good morning to you. I'll tell you another thing, man. The GOP, that's the grand old party, the Republicans, they spend a lot of time, coming across as if they protect police officers. And the way that they're reacting with the Capitol riot as it relates to the Capitol police officers who in some cases were injured has been a complete contradiction. I read within the last 24 hours that there's one particular officer that was injured in the Capitol riot. He went to Congress, right, to defend what happened and defend the Capitol Police and how they responded to it. He reached out to try to shake the hand of one of the GOP, one of the Republican legislators. Man wouldn't even shake his hand. So it's quite amazing how, outside of this situation with the Capitol riot, the Republican Party loves to dance around in blue. They protect the blue. They love police officers. They can't get enough. We can't have enough money for and/or police officers on the forces in these individual cities. But when it comes to the Capitol riot, they have no support for police officers whatsoever. It's just amazing. And Trump used to do the same thing. He would, on one hand, oh, we're all about law and order, and I'm the law and order president, and at the same time was throwing shit at the feds, at the FBI. And now we know why. Is because they were doing investigations into his criminal activities, the Trump crime family. And he got away with it. It's just amazing how some people can get away with certain things. Like he actually got away with that through the entirety of his 4 years. He would go to these rallies and bring police officers up, and we love police officers, and oh yes, I support you. But then with the FBI, he would completely shit on them. And the same thing with the modern day GOP. I mean, they love local police officers. They can't get enough local police officers. Protect the blue. They wear the T-shirts. They wear the hat. They wear the hat on backwards. It's all about police, 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 and love until you mention the Capitol riots. Then they don't want to talk about it. They got nothing to say. No comment. It's quite a very interesting turn of events. Good morning, everybody. 513-873-7134. Let me put the cam up. So I know you came to not see that image. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Here we are. It's your boy Nate Ivy once again. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to my home studio as it is. Looking to make a change real soon. We'll see what happens. Looking forward to it. I'm very excited about the possibilities, quite honestly. I'll let you know if any good news comes through. All right. Good morning to you. As I said, I put a word out there. I've been looking for a new studio space, and I think I found one. Still working on the details where I can be creative, do the show, invite people to do the show, their particular podcast, among other things as well in this space. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully by next week I'll have some good news for you. That'll be dope. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I see everybody's on YouTube this morning. Great. Charles writes, Grand Risings, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Now, listen, everybody, you only got me for an hour. I'm just in and out today. It's just the way it's going to be. Daryl writes, are you on Facebook, Nate? No, we are not on Facebook this morning. Queen Maxine writes, Grand Risings, everyone. Good morning to you. Let me see. Tabitha writes, in this case, the poem is worth money. Yeah, I bet you it is. Yes, it is. Jenny writes, good morning, Nate and the Shoppers. Good morning to you. Not that they need it. Dale writes, not just police, Nate, and average working white people too, just too biased to see. Darren writes, is that a smartwatch? No, it is not. No, it is not a smartwatch. You mean one of the watches that's connected to your phone or something like that? No. I like them. I think they're pretty dope. I thought about purchasing it, but never really wanted to spend the money. I just figured that it would be superfluous. Like, my phone has a timer on. I'm just not really sure what I could get from the watch. And I'm sure there's something I can get from the watch I can't get from the phone. But right now, I want to keep it simple. Nat writes, good Thursday, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, everybody. Please like and share this show onto Facebook and wherever you think people might be into it. I appreciate you in advance. Good morning, and good morning. So yeah, tell me about that. I mean, keepsakes after you've been married? Why you hold on to something like this, Jada? What the hell? Stop playing Will. Will she respect that black man? Damn it. When does the respect start? What in the hell is going on? Please like and share today's show. Oh, and I want to make sure I remind you as well. We had Rosemary on yesterday, and she was nice enough to spend some time with us and talk about this event, My Legacy Matters, Teen Father Resource Fair. It's Tuesday, the very next Tuesday. So Tuesday of next week, June 22nd, from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It's going to be a drive-through event. You don't even have to get out of your car. You simply drive through, and people will be working with you to give you all of the resources that they have available. And a shout out to Rosemary's Babies Company for what they're doing in our community. I think this can be, something that can be very impactful in the life of a teenage father. Hell, I was not a teenage father and I was scared to death. It's funny because just yesterday I was looking at some old baby pictures, right? Like going back through memories lane, and just found the pictures in which my daughter was very, very young. It just takes you back to memory lane. I tell the wifey all the time, like, I'm just so happy because she's been much more prolific when posting like stuff on social media about the family than I have been. And I never really paid attention to it until recently. And now that it's got my attention, it's like this living history, right? It's just it's so cool to like go back through the photographs and see our children when they were younger and see my younger self. Now we trip about that, right? We'll look at the pictures and be like, damn, look at you. Look at me when we were younger and things like that. And I came across some pictures from when my daughter was just first born. I was scared to death, man. You couldn't see it in the pictures. I was terrified. Like me with a child, I don't know what to do with no babies. I thought I was going to drop her. I thought I was going to talk too loud. I thought I was going to forget to feed her or feed her too much and all that kind of stuff. Now, none of that stuff happened, but terrified. And I was a grown man. I was in my 30s when we had her. I can't imagine being 13, 14, 15. My daughter's 15. She ain't nowhere near ready to take care of a child of 15. She don't have the capabilities. It would be a bad situation. And she is she's on point. And she is on point. And she would have no idea what to do with a child. I can't imagine being 8, 15, 16, 13 with a child. So again, if you have a teen father in your circle of influence, people that just shoot this to them. Shoot this to their mom and dad. Shoot this flyer. It's on my personal page. You can download it real easy to your phone. You can email it once you do that. You can Twitter it, or you can tweet it. You can do whatever you want to do, right? In the interest of trying to make sure that as many people know about it as possible. So again, June 22nd, that's coming up on Tuesday. Teen Father Resource Fair. It's a drive-through event. You don't even have to get out of the car. You don't even have to get out of the car. Teen fathers and their children are welcome. You can register online for a free gift at www.rosemariesbabies.co. All right. Very, very important. Thank you in advance. I appreciate you. I know you on top of it already. I ain't got to even say nothing. I already know. Again, June 22nd. That's just next week. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Milani writes, good morning. Def writes, good morning, all. Anime's in the house. Kush writes, good morning, Nate and the Mighty Choppers. I got a knock type from, wait. I got a knock type from Dollar General for $15. Does everything a Fitbit does. Monitors heartbeat, steps, and sleep patterns. Okay. Got a knockoff, huh? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, our phone system, we get our cell phones through T-Mobile. They got some kind of watch that connects to it. I've even tried it on. It looks pretty dope. I like the idea of being, on the cutting edge of technology. I just don't need it. It was unnecessary. Like, why spend an extra X amount of dollars per month? I could put that to something else. That's a much needed event for young fathers who are trying to be responsible. That's Queen Maxine. I agree. But, sometimes you got to lead a horse to water. So, and teenagers, looking at the demographics, are not the biggest demographic of this particular show. So that means it's got to be the older folks in the family that get the information and trickles down to them. The aunties, the uncles, the grandparents, the mothers, the fathers, right? The big sisters, big brothers, cousins, and them. You might know somebody, and if so, just send them that link if they live in the greater Cincinnati area, and or send them the flyer, and they can make their own decision. But I hope that they continue to do this, because you hear a lot about teen mothers, but not a whole lot about teen fathers, not to exclude anybody. But think about it. Father's Day is right around the corner. And so it all just kind of makes sense, right? And again, being a father, nobody teaches you how to do that shit. If you've had a father in your life or real male role models, that gives you some kind of a guide. But you don't know. Like I said, thank goodness I had the wifey, because we did it. She didn't know. We did it together. We just like, okay, this is what we did with our little brothers and sisters. So this is what we gonna do. Right? We had no idea, man. Literally, I remember I had no idea how to do diapers. Somehow she did. I'm like, how you learn these skills? My wife and I were married for 5 years before we started having children. And then we was like, kids, what do we do with this, right? So it's just it can be a very overwhelming experience, very overwhelming. So as much as we can do to help people, I'm here for it. I'm all for it. Brandy writes, good morning. She was first inside the chop shop. Ashley writes, good morning, Nathan and the Choppers. Good morning to you. Sharp writes, good morning, Nate and the Choppers. Good morning, Sharp. Ray writes, good risings all. Morning, Nate and the Choppers. Hashtag flows ready to eat for everybody. Hashtag free Chris Matthews. Hashtag Joe Manchin is feeling the pressure. Hashtag no one to say I told you so, but hashtag happy Friday Eve. Okay, it's a lot of hashtags. Brenda writes, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to you, Brenda. Hacksaw Jim Thuggan writes, anyone heard about August Alsina? Heard from August Alsina? No, I haven't. Some females keep an Xbox. An Xbox. Huh. Now, when you say Xbox, an Xbox, man. That's a better way of putting it. Ladies, do you have an Xbox? A box full of stuff that you got from your exes? I'd like to know. Until we hear from you, let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning, comrade.
What up? Good morning.
I'm chilling. Hey, Joe Manchin is the most powerful senator in America.
Is he?
I think so. He can determine whether bills go forward or bills die. once they meet the threshold. Because of how close the Senate is. 50-50, right? And then Kamala breaks the tie. But Kamala don't come into play unless there is a tie. So, hey, if the Democrats can't convince Joe Manchin of anything, then whatever comes from the House from the Democrats is DOA. And guess what? He in West Virginia, where he has to play this game. You know what I'm saying? So he's insulated from that, all that nonsense, the political football. He could do what he want to do. Unless
no, he's not insulated.
Vote him out.
He's not insulated, no.
Oh, look,
he's playing politics too. He's playing the politics of his state. See, Joe Manchin doesn't want to be primary by somebody that's more Republican than him. That's what his issue is.
You said primary. No, he wouldn't have a primary with no Republicans. There'd be a general election.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Primary,
with a Democrat that's more conservative than him. You're right.
Correct. There you go. Now think about that. Who's a more conservative Democrat right now than Joe Manchin? Can you find that guy? I don't know who that is, or a woman,
or not even primary. He's afraid that a Republican might knock him off in West Virginia.
Correct. See, right, exactly. That's the fear. And see, that's his only concern is keeping his job, right?
Right.
See, if a Republican takes his job, it don't help the Democrats do it.
It don't. And if a more conservative Democrat takes his job, it don't help the Democrats per se.
Exactly. That's why I say he's the most powerful senator in America.
I don't know if he's the most powerful, but he's definitely got some leverage right now, for sure.
Well, he has to look. The only time the Democrats can get something across is if they get him. Unless they get some Republicans to vote, we know that ain't happening. You see what I'm saying? That's the politics that's the nature of the politics in West Virginia.
Yeah, for sure. I heard that he sat down with some civil rights leaders about, I think it was a voting rights bill. And then afterward, the news was that, they had a good conversation, but nobody really budged. I wasn't surprised because they can't offer him anything. Like you just said, his issue is he wants to remain the senator from West Virginia. And he knows that he's got to be on that tightrope. And that's what he's going to do.
And he's walking it like a champ.
Well, I mean, he's still here. So, yeah, he's still in the Senate.
Now, that's right. So unless the Democrats can't pull out the queen pin, Kamala Harris, unless they get Joe Manchin on board. Otherwise, it's 51-49 Republicans. And you need 60 votes to do business in the Senate. So Democrats can't even get their business done unless they get 60. Then if they get the business on the floor, then you got to get Joe Manchin and Kamala Harris. The two polar opposites, you know what I'm saying, to agree on something.
Right, absolutely. And that's why, and I said this right after Joe Biden was elected. Okay, now he's been elected, but what can he really do? Like legislatively, he's in a bad spot.
Yep, you're right. He in a real bad spot. He go look, and then check it out. Whoever run for president in 2024, because we got to look at that now. Mike Pence is going to eat his breakfast, bro. I think it's going to be Mike Pence.
Mike Pence?
I think Mike Pence. I think Mike Pence is going to emerge as your Republican nominee in 2024.
Huh. Okay. I would hate to see that.
Trump. Yeah, I mean, Trump's done. All right, let's just call it what it is. Trump is totally done. He ain't gonna get reelected again in 2024. I just can't see that happen. But what I can see happening is the Trojan horse play. Donald Trump puts all his money from reelection into Mike Pence, because Mike Pence sounds reasonable. If you ever sat down here listen to Mike Pence, he sounds presidential. He got the vice presidency. He's been a congressman. He's been a governor. His resume says president. And that brings all the Republicans together. The ones that love Trump and the ones that hate Trump, they're all going to get behind Mike Pence. And if Joe Biden don't have no record on nothing, Mike Pence is going to run Make America Great Again. He's going to run the same play, but it's going to be Mike Pence.
I can see that.
And he's reasonable.
I can see that.
Those are my thoughts on that. This is chess, not checkers. And Joe Manchin is playing chess like that chess master, Bobby Fischer.
Is he? I mean, he's playing his obvious hand. His hand is he's got to walk that tightrope to appease the more conservative elements of the West Virginia electorate if he wants to remain a senator. That's it.
Right. And that's a Democrat right there.
That's a Democrat right there.
Let me ask you. Yeah, that's a Democrat right there. Let me ask you one more question before I go.
Sure.
Hey, do Black lives matter only when the police kill Black people, or do Black lives matter all the time?
They matter all the time, obviously.
Okay, look. So check this out. You saw they found that 19-year-old who pulled that drive-by over there, McHenry and Kavanaugh, right? Shot the 8-year-old, 6-year-old.
Right.
Terrible, right?
Terrible.
And the 18-year-olds who were in front of there.
Terrible, right.
Horrible. All right, where the protests at? Where the signs saying Black Lives Matter? There's people are down there for the city hall drawing a mural instead of going to court with that poor mother whose kid is going to be, scarred for life. See, Black Lives Matter to some of these people only matter when they draw it on the sidewalk at 801 Plum Street, or if a police officer kills or shoots a black person. That's the only time you hear the loud voices screaming Black Lives Matter. You don't hear Black Lives Matter when 8 and 6-year-olds get shot, in front of Kavanaugh McHenry corner store. You don't hear that outcry, Black Lives Matter. People just continue to draw on the sidewalk on the street at 801 Plum Street like there's some therapy session. Like they're working out therapy doing Black Lives Matter. Meanwhile, we got young black teenagers shooting black babies. But there ain't no Black Lives Matter protest over there, though. You know what I'm saying? That's the irritation of this whole moment. I won't even call it a movement. It's a moment. Because there's still 8 and 6-year-olds being shot by other black folks, and Black Lives Matter is MIA.
All right, brother. I hear you. Anything else? I think you're being unfair. I think you're being unfair.
Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about it then. So I think you're being unfair.
What's your response?
Here's a response.
Why is it
I think
fair?
you're being unfair, and I think you, in an effort to make a point, is overlooking the fact that there's a lot of people in the city of Cincinnati that work and speak about those issues, when there's shootings in our own community, so-called black on black crime. I haven't seen them recently, but over the years, I know of many organizations, mothers of murdered sons and daughters. I've seen church organizations get out there and march through the streets and let's lift their voice and try to talk about these issues. So, to say that people don't care when black people kill other black people, I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's true. But to compare the two is unfair. It's unfair to compare crime, when it's black people on black people crime, to police officers, right, who are paid by citizens that brutalize citizens. That's a whole different issue.
Well, that's why I started with my question. Do Black Lives matter? Do Black Lives only matter when police kill them, or do Black Lives matter all the time?
They matter all the time.
All the time. Right.
But when police are killing unarmed citizens, that's a unique issue that needs to be addressed. So, for instance, white people kill white people all the time.
Well, but they ain't got no white lives matter out here.
I'm just saying
they ain't doing that. They're not silly enough to say white lives matter.
I'm just saying
enough to go with Black
you're
Lives
more
Matter.
likely to be a victim of crime by somebody that looks like you. That no matter what the race is. So that's not just particular to black folks.
I agree with you on that. So think about it, Ivy. We are more likely to be killed. Black people are more likely to be killed by black people. So you can agree with me that it's a phenomenon for police officers to kill black people. That's just sheer numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like more black people are getting killed by black people than black people getting killed by the police. So if Black Lives Matter all the time, we should be as outraged when black folks kill black folks as when the police officers choke a black person out or shoot them or whatever. But I'm saying you don't
I don't agree with
outcry.
that. I don't agree with that.
I just don't. I'm looking at the streets, bro, and I don't see people saying Black Lives Matter with that 8-year-old, 6-year-old in front of that corner store at Kavanaugh McHenry. Where are those people at? They downtown at 801 Plum Street doing therapy. All right, drawing coloring on the streets. This is the problem. This is the counterintuitiveness of our community. That we only care about black lives if the police take it.
But that's not true, though. But that's not true, though. I mean, I hear that's what you're saying, but that's not my observation. That's not true at all.
Man, only person out here saying, look, and then you use the term black on black violence. I'm glad you used that term because that's what's really going on. I'm glad you finally said black on black crime because that's what Hope Dudley's been talking about. You know, mothers, sons. You can speak for me. She's the only person that's in the black community who's an activist saying black on black crime is happening as a black woman. Nobody else wants to acknowledge that this is going on. Because black lives only matter when the police kill them. You know, black lives don't matter if black people kill black people. To some people, the so-called fake woke people. That's the problem I'm having. I'm just saying, let's be consistent, people, please.
Well, the situations aren't consistent, so we can't be. Like I keep telling you,
it is. Black folks
whether you
dying.
black, whether you white, whether you Asian, you're more likely to be victim to a crime to somebody that looks like you. That's not particular to black people. However, what is particular to black people is the phenomenon of police brutality. Now, everybody gets it, but we get it worse. That's why people focus on it. I get it. I understand it.
Right, I get it. They're not focused on 8 and 6-year-olds being shot by their own people. They don't care about that.
Nah, I didn't say that. I didn't say they didn't care. I mean, there are a lot of people that care about.
They don't. They
There's
don't.
a lot of people that care about Black lives and black wealth building and the overall predicament of Black
now you
people.
changed the subject, bro.
All the
Now
time.
it's not black wealth.
I'm just saying.
I'm focused on murder.
Yeah, but if we talking about Black lives, that means every aspect of their life, not just whether they're alive or dead, but whether they're thriving. There's people that care about Black babies out here. So that ain't true. The more I think about it, man, I see your point, and I've seen people run with it, but no, it's not true. There's plenty of folks here that care about Black lives. There's people out here that's working on prenatal care for Black mothers. They're working on the.
So you changing the subject. But
I'm not changing the subject. We're talking about Black lives. That means
murder.
Black life, all the whole gamut, the full dimension of Black life. So that ain't true.
It's absolutely. No, that's my perspective. We could agree to disagree. But see, that's another thing we can do. We can agree to disagree. Unlike last week when people were saying we had to have group thought, group think, collective thought. The old woman Iris wants to put group think and group thought into our community. But we could agree to disagree. Like she was ready to execute you verbally yesterday, or last week rather, because you didn't agree with that mural.
Oh, was she? I don't remember that.
That's the.
I don't get executed verbally. I don't do that. I don't believe that was true at all. I think she was just making her point.
I think she was ready to talk bad about you because you didn't agree with her. And see, that's what we can't have in the Black community. We can't have us lockstep 100% group thinking with each other. It's unacceptable because we don't grow like that. So my perspective is what it is, and yours is too, and I respect your perspective. You know what I'm saying? But for me, as I see 8 and 6-year-old kids being shot on critical condition in the middle of Cincinnati, and we got people downtown drawing Black Lives Matter on 801 Plum Street, to me, it's just counterintuitive. It's a waste of time. But, it is what it is.
I hear you. All right, brother. I think you're wrong on this, but we can agree to disagree.
Absolutely. You have a good day, comrade.
You too. He always trying to sow some dissension. It ain't gonna happen. But I don't think that's true. I've heard people make that point before, and I think it's worthy of more conversation. Like, if Black Lives Matter, what about when Black people kill Black people? And what I would say to those individuals is that if you feel that strongly about it, then you should do more than just talk about it and ask that question. Like, if you sincerely believe that, that when there's crime in the Black community, that we don't respond the same way as we do when it's police officers and akin, to me, it makes perfect sense. Why? Well, then you should do more than just talk about it. You should be that voice. You should lead the charge and you should, raise those issues when those things happen. And in terms of Black Lives Matter, that's more than just, being a victim of homicide. To me, that's like the full spectrum of Black life. So it's people in the city of Cincinnati, as I said, to Black Russia, that are focused on prenatal care for Black mothers. That's Black Lives Matter. There's people, because their life is on the line. There's people out here in the city of Cincinnati that focus on, making sure that Black babies can get to their newborns, can get to their first birthday, right? The infant mortality rate. That's Black Lives Matter, right? It's deeper than just these surface conversation that we had. It's people in the city of Cincinnati that's focused on Black wealth building. That's Black Lives Matter, the quality of your life. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to look at that term, Black Lives Matter. There's people out here focusing and fighting to make sure that our police department is held accountable, in particular, in terms of the way that they interact with Black people in Cincinnati. That's Black Lives Matter, right? So there's a whole lot. There's people out here working to make sure that Black people get vaccinated, depending on their viewpoint. That's Black Lives Matter. So it's a lot of different ways to look at that phrase, not just one dimension. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it that way. But I think it can make for an interesting sort of Facebook post. Like, what about Black on Black crime? I get you, but what about white on white crime? It's a whole different animal over there. Crime has been around since the beginning of time, and is going to be around since the beginning of time. That's a separate issue than paying for police to brutalize you. That's a whole different situation over there. And I know people love to conflate them and try to make them seem the same, but they're not. They're not the same. And in terms of what they're doing with the mural, we had Landis Powell on Monday. She was nice enough to give us the whole week of events. And, I stand by what I said. I'm about equity, policy, and tangibles. That ain't none of them. But maybe it can turn into an event that can have some leverage and have some kind of, impact. And again, I can think of a lot worse things for Black people to be doing in the city of Cincinnati during the week of Juneteenth. So, we'll see what happens. I want to be positive. You know what I'm saying? The glass is half full to me on these kind of things. We'll see what happens. And you're not going to sow dissension between me and Sister Iris. It ain't going to happen. People can call in here and say whatever they want to say to any point. As long as you ain't getting disrespectful, I don't care. You want to hold me accountable, hold me accountable. Because I'm going to do the same thing to you. So it's a two-way street. But don't try to sow no dissension. It ain't going to work. I hear you. 513-873-7134 if you like to share your thoughts. I'm glad that I want people to think, get that blood pumping through your brain. That means you get enraged at your boy. Cool, get enraged. If you think I'm right, great. You think I'm right. If you think I'm halfway right, I'm halfway right. If you think I'm 75% wrong, well, I'm 75% wrong. If you think I'm 100% wrong, well, then I'm 100% wrong. It comes with the territory. If you want to show your thoughts, you got your number on the line there. Yeah, but I've heard it before. What about Black on Black crime? I hate that term, Black on Black crime. I think it's more destructive than the N-word, in my opinion. It's what does that mean exactly? You had you had white folks that got killed up in Pike, Ohio, the Pike family massacres. Not one time did the news call it white on white crime. And the reason why is because it's not a proper description of what actually happened. And it's damn disrespectful. But we just do that in the Black community over and over again because it's Black folks. It's okay to disrespect us. Crime is crime is crime is crime. And it's going to be going on since the beginning of time. I hate seeing it. When I hear about these brothers getting shot, and there's some Facebook pages that they'll post, like, I won't say mug shots, but they'll post photographs of people who are missing in Cincinnati and people who've been murdered and stuff. Every time I see it, it's sad to me. Every single time. I'm like, is it that serious? I just saw a video happen here in the city of Cincinnati. It was caught on surveillance tape. You had these 3 Black dudes that was walking down the alleyway. Out of nowhere, 2 Black dudes with hoods on come follow them and start firing shots on them. What is this all about? Is it over Jordan? Is it over women? It's over a lot of different stuff. It's over money. It's over women. Some of these scandalous ass women be pitting dudes against each other. And then boom, it just takes off. Insecurity, immaturity. It's a whole bunch of shit, man. And I think every effort should be put into addressing the underlying issues. Every effort. And I think that's as much as you can do, quite honestly. You're always going to have an incorrigible element in any part of your society. It's always going to be an element that just want to do what they want to do. They're going to do it no matter what. It's not about opportunities. It's not about whatever. That's just who they are. And, it is what it is. And when I look at the white community, they don't absorb the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? They don't do that. They absorb the greatness, but they don't absorb the nonsense. I say Black folks do the same thing. Let me see. J. Rose writes, I agree. Put your words to work. Yeah, that's what I would say. Like, if you really feel like ain't nobody out here when Black people killing Black people say anything, which is not true. There's people that hit the streets and mobilize every single time. There's people in Cincinnati that's working behind the scenes, that's working on the streets, that's working with the families. That's just not true. But these are the type of individuals who are not always seeking media attention. So it just becomes, every once in a while you see an article about it, but they ain't seeking media attention. That's not why they're doing it. They're doing it because it needs to be done. So what I would say, if that's how you feel compelled with your talents, then you should do that. So for instance, I have a particular skill set and I feel compelled to do something for our community. I want to create independent media. That's what we decided to do. That's my talent. That's my skill. That's my experience. That's what I have to offer. Somebody else might have something else to offer, and they should offer that. Right? We don't all have the same talent and or experience. Cool. But if your talent and experience is you want to get out here in the streets and you want to be on the front line and you want to raise awareness about, crimes being committed by and against other Black folks, then I 100% applaud you and support you. And when you start, you can stop by this show and we'll put it out there as much as possible in an effort to push what you're doing as far as we possibly can. That's it. again, I'm down for the conversations. I think we should have these conversations, but I'm like, well, if you really feel that way, then go ahead and do something then. Get busy. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nate. How you doing, man?
I'm doing wonderful. Welcome to the show.
You know where you heard that talking point before from Black Delhi? You heard it from conservatives, Nate. They played, well, if Black Lives Matter, do they matter when cops kill black people or when black people kill black people? That's where you heard that from. Mm-hmm. Man, I'm surprised at this dude, man. I guess he's gone straight Smitherman Jr. too. He's made a Caitlyn Jenner type of transition. He really has. Like I told you, it wasn't that long ago I heard his brother down the Dow actually tell Bill Cunningham, Willie, you're a great American. I'm like, really? So that's what we doing now. So that's what we doing now. Let's go back. This is the guy, he was the first Cincinnati birther. Remember we used to be in the chop shop talking about, where's Tab Puraball's birth certificate? You remember that? Everything I'm saying is true. Yeah. One of the first ones. Talk about being consistent. You know what? How about being consistent in, starting an investigation on what happened on January 6th? Like you said, Nate, since they love the popo so much. That's all they talk about. Oh, and by the way, since he didn't know this, or maybe he knew it but didn't want to tell you in the chop shop, actually, have you heard the latest from Joe Manchin, Nate?
Yes, the compromise?
Yeah, about the memo
mm-hmm.
that he sent out, where now he's kind of, hey, maybe we do have to change the filibuster. And you know what that's happening, Nate? Because the people of Texas, their state legislator came up to Washington and talked to them. But also, Reverend Barber? They had a Poor People's Campaign march in West Virginia. The black community in West Virginia, which I don't know how big that is, to tell you the truth, but still. They're out there saying, like, hey, our voting rights are more important than, your love for a Senate rule that was put in really to save the minority, conservative, because they knew eventually America would get tired of the racist, fascist ways. And, we're a country of immigrants, and we're going to be browning, and, your philosophy, i.e. ideology, no longer fits this America type shit. Let's be real. Yeah, but again, this goes back to the whole pound puppy, alt middle, whatever the hell they call themselves. Why you always got to be the first one to come down on the sister, with stupid ass avatars when they at their lowest moments, be the first one to defend the police, also be the first or second ones to talk about keep your head down. You knew what was going to happen if you said something or you caused a ruckus or good trouble. Everything I'm saying is true, but then you're going to come on here and you basically came on a black man's radio show and said, what about black on black crime? Negro, please. You the same buster that supported Jim Neal. How'd that work out?
That's right, he did.
You like the Earl Price of the chop shop.
He did.
Really?
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah, Earl Price. Matter of fact, he was on your show talking about I'll wear a David Mann wig. Remember that episode? Man, hey Nate, I'm about to get in the job, man. Let me log on at least and listen to your show, because I know you said you had a short show, but yeah, man, I people, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Black Russia and the rest of these clowns and drip shit and Lil Knox Drop or whatever the hell he calls himself, all they doing is feeding you Republican talking points. But when he played if Black Lives really matter, does it matter when the police kill them or when a black person kills another black person? And then they love to recite the black on black, more black people kill more black people than, like who don't know that? More Asians kill more Asian people. Freaking more Aborigines kill more Aborigines than black people kill Aborigines. You not bringing anything new to the table, bro. Oh, by the way, guess who killed more police than any other demographical group in America? White people. But we never guess who gets killed more by the police than any other demographic group? White people. Guess what, Russia? Because there are more white people in the country. But you don't hear them saying, well, you know what? I wonder if we have to look internally into our community. I wonder if we have to look at our values and the culture that exists among us. I wonder if the reason why kids are going crazy and shooting up the school because of freaking Nirvana and Teen Spirit songs on a loop. You feel me, Nate?
I feel you, brother.
Man, let me get out of here, man. You know how it is. At the end, I hope they get what I'm spitting. Petty pace.
Appreciate the call from the Politically Petty Podcast Show. Love that name, by the way. Let me see. Somebody writes, what aboutism, gaslighting, right? What about black on black crime? Charles writes, he wants to keep it to murder to keep it political, right? J. Rose writes, huh? What are you doing to protest the black on black killings, right? Black Rush out here gaslighting, yeah. It's not going to work with us, but, you know, we'll watch the show. J. Rose writes, there are issues within the black community that need to be addressed at the core. Yeah. But there's issues in every community that needs to be addressed at the core. Like, for instance, nobody's asking this question, what's wrong with the white family? Nobody wants to answer that question because we're so used and comfortable to analyzing and overanalyzing and super overanalyzing the black community. But what's wrong with the white family? Why do you have so many white kids going to these schools shooting their classmates? Why did all these majority white people think that they was going? Why are so many white people in the QAnon? You know what I'm saying? Why are so many white people run to the Capitol back on January 6th and try to take over the country? You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, it's a lot of questions we could ask out here about the white family that nobody ever dares to bring up because it would be disrespectful. With us, we just like cattle. You know, it's just another animal, another species to analyze, tag and document. So, I mean, there's a lot of issues with everybody. I mean, look at all these anti-maskers. Look at the way people reacted to COVID. How were these people raised? Where's your home training? Nobody asked those questions. Let's go back to the phones and say good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Nathan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing terrific, Fame. Welcome to the show, brother.
Yes, very disappointed that we only get an hour with our brother today, but anytime you turn that mic on, we as choppers and listeners are enriched and ennobled, and we appreciate you. But I didn't appreciate that last call. I know what the hell he talking about. You know, you called a black man show and threatened 4 black men's genitals. And you're still doing it. You know, the politically petty podcast, all that pee popping, and you threatening genitals. Dude, watch your mouth. You know, especially when you talk about my brethren. You know what? His black life don't matter. He can't process what he's seeing his own way, Nathan. That's a legit question. It wasn't rhetorical.
He can, but when he does, that opens him up to be critiqued. He's
going to
he's going to get a response.
You can critique all you want. If that's how he processes it, his black life matters. You know, so, you know, and I don't know why this guy continues to say, I hope they getting what I'm spitting. You're threatening genitals, sir. We don't know what you spitting. Hell, you might be swallowing. What the hell? Like, you have no clue. All you do is attack people. You look at the alt middle and say, damn, I was that 30 years ago. When you had, you know, but you're past your prime, you're long in the tooth, your views are old, antiquated, and you're trying too hard. It's over. Just attacking that man for no reason at all. Just to have something to say.
No, he had a reason. He made some good points.
No, he did. No, he ain't had no damn good points. He ain't made a good point. Glenn ain't made a good radio point since 97.
I can understand.
He ain't made a good radio point since 97.
The brother made a damn good point about your brother.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
He did 100%.
No, he did.
And I don't expect you to say that because he's part of your crew. So I get it.
Oh, so you respected my loyalty to my brethren?
Well, I'm not respecting. I'm
Okay,
saying I
then.
recognize it. Yeah,
Oh, you don't
recognize
respect
your
it.
blind loyalty.
Why don't you respect it? You respect the Democrats' the black people's blind loyalty to Democrats.
Do I?
You respect black people's blind loyalty to Democrats.
What? Negro, please.
Oh, you don't? Okay. You want to act funny like that? That's fine. I'll play along. Yeah, you've always been about black people having, exercising all their choices, which is why you've been adverse to the alt middle since our inception.
Not really.
The alt middle, you've been trying to be a condom to prevent the birth of the alt middle since 2017.
No, not really.
Yes, you have. You've been spermicidal lubricant. You've been spermicide the whole time.
What?
You heard me. You've been spermicide. Trying to stop us.
That's ridiculous, man. Funny though.
No, it's true. But hey, I don't like how Jada Pinkett Smith is gets to just walk away from his Uncle Alcina situation.
What you mean?
Nothing happened.
What's she supposed to do?
It was just no, she got to get the red scarlet letter tapped on her forehead for adulteress. Let's not forget she was cheating on Will Smith of all people.
True.
The nicest dude in the world. You know what I'm saying? Pepper said he was too square of a dude for her to date. And he was all into her when they first met, went on tour with him. She said he was just too square. Now she's kicking herself in the ass for that one.
Pretty much.
You know what I'm saying? But Jada gets to walk away like nothing happened. She just had a bad moment in time. No, you old skank. You took advantage of a young boy who was in distress, and you cheated on your husband.
Right.
Nobody cares you were friends with Tupac. He was an asshole too. That's probably where you got the cheating from. You're both assholes. You understand me? Let's not kid ourselves here. Quit trying to sweep that under the rug like she was just an old cougar. What's that? What they say about Prince Hakeem? Throwing a Royal Oaks.
Right.
No, honey. You were doing some hoe stuff. You were being a bald head hoe. And you should be called out on it. Sorry about that. Social media got to me. But yeah, that's all I got, B. Y'all gonna leave my brethren alone. It's been real. I had fun. And we'll holler at you soon, B. Don't forget tonight, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock for pictures and autographs with the alt middle at Norwood School Board meeting. 6 o'clock the meeting starts. Mary Ronan's getting the business. We're putting her on ice. Huh?
All right, brother.
No. All right, be safe.
Yep, that's he is nuts, man. He is absolutely nuts. Hold on, I gotta catch up with the fan real quick as they walking out the door. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. This is very, very, very important. He is nuts. I'm on a bald head hoe. He is wrong for that. Hold on 1 second, fam. I'll be right back. had a little bit of time there to step away. Family's leaving in the morning. Had to holler at the wifey real quick. I had to make sure I said a few things to her before she walked out the door. Good morning to you. How are you? Hope you're doing well. You've only got me for a short amount of time. I was thinking about an hour to about 9:30-ish or so. 9:30. We're at the 56-minute mark. But let's continue. I think we just had another call on the line. Call me back. I'll put you straight on. What happened in the NBA last night? Did the Clippers really win without? That series is over. They win in game. Paul George stepping up, hitting 37 points. That series is over. Looks like the Clippers. And if they keep playing like that, man, they might be the NBA champions. I like the NBA. It's just a departure for me. It's nothing more than just mindless disengagement. I enjoy the physicality of it. And as a former recreational basketball player, I used to go hard. It's fun to watch the game, right? And I love what's happening with the NBA. You are seeing a changing of the guard. Them young boys is not joking. Luka, Giannis, Paul George. I mean, this is not LeBron James league anymore. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I don't think that the Lakers will ever have a chance. I think this year was their last best year unless they make a significant move. But other than that, they got some real horses. And oh, by the state, guess who comes back next year? Golden State. So you're going to have plenty of parity, man. I think my dream job would be to own an NBA franchise. That would be my dream job, right? That'd be dope. Just pitch your team against the other team, all the excitement. That'd be super dope. What's your dream job? Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Ivy. This is your West Side connection. Little Nas Drip. What's up?
Little Nas Drip. So you're going to embrace it, huh?
I love it. If they ain't talking about you, you ain't relevant. Mr. Ivy.
Little Nas
Before I continue, I want to give a shout out to the Alt Middle and all their affiliates.
Oh, dear.
Shout out to Fame, Rothstein Sports Investing. Shout out to Black Russia and his podcast, The Invasion. And I'll even give a tiny little shout out to goofy ass Glenn from Mason, the overseer who has been promoted to the Negro Whisperer to cover for this sorry ass administration with only 150 days in office. 2 foreign trips that were questionable at best. But Mr. Ivy, let's talk about the crime in America that Black Russia brought up. And he kind of focused on the black on black aspect because the majority of the crime that the national media decides to make national news is part of their narrative. You're seeing Asians attacked, but the other crime that Black Russia was talking about that's happening in Atlanta, Chicago, and New York, those are the type of crime explosions that are going to cost the Democrats in the next election. Because if you flash back, Mr. Ivy, to the 1994 crime bill, which was sponsored by our current president, Joe Biden, the reason for that crime bill, Mr. Ivy, was because you had an election coming up and the ravages of the crack epidemic in the inner cities, where the money was getting so big that the murders were just getting out of control. In these black communities, families being destroyed, police going crazy with the battering rams they had out here in LA with Daryl Gates. They were destroying communities, and the people spoke up, Mr. Ivy. And the people said, enough is enough. We must stop this crime in our communities because it's destroying our families. It's killing our mothers. It's sending our fathers to prison for unbelievable amounts of years because they trying to sell a little crack, a little rock. And this what's happening in this country right now, Mr. Ivy, because in Atlanta, Mayor Keisha Bottoms, she's not running for re-election. The mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, she has had 2 mass killings in 2 days, Mr. Ivy. She doesn't know what to do. And here's one of the last things I want to say. There's a former police captain in New York that has just taken the lead in the mayoral race. He moved ahead of Andrew Yang because this brother, Eric Adams, former police captain, said that he don't need a security detail when he walk around, because guess what? He gonna be strapped, and everybody gonna know he's strapped, because he believes in a lot of the so-called right-wing ways of policing. So again, Mr. Ivy, I'm just saying, keep your eye on this, because Black Russia, like he always is, he knows what he's talking about when it comes to politics. Because you got Val Demings, who's going to challenge Marco Rubio down in Florida. Now, when Val Demings was on Joe Biden's list to possibly be his VP pick, the people, the Black Democrats, said, nah, we can't have her because she's more blue than black. Now, I know you remember that, and unfortunately, you don't allow double dipping, because I guarantee you the Negro Whisperer is going to challenge that, or he's going to write in the chat room that I'm lying again, but it's the truth. So all I'm saying, Mr. Ivy, it's getting bad out here in these streets, and we're not even officially in summer yet. And I just hope, Mr. Ivy, I hope it doesn't get so bad to the point to where the Democrats start taking the tough on crime platform going into the 2024 midterm elections. But keep your eye on the mayoral race, Mr. Ivy, because that's big news. And the man's name is Eric Adams. He has moved into first place in, I don't know which poll exactly, but the fact that he's there and he's about law and order, because the crime is out of control in New York, just like it is across the country. Just keep your eye on that. And on that note, Mr. Ivy, I just want to give a shout out to Glenn from Mason on his promotion from overseer to Negro Whisperer. Drop Squad 52, dropping science to anyone who wants to catch it. Peace.
And the laugh afterward. You got to say, the brother's entertaining, man. Hilarious. All the brothers, man. All of them. Great calls. All great calls. He's been promoted. Man, leave that man alone. And I'm starting to hate it when you give props to the alt middle, man, because all you doing is you just making them boys, you making them brothers, you just putting a battery in their back. And they don't need any batteries in their back. They got quite enough energy on their own. Good morning, everybody. Hilarious. Little Nas drip. Cindy Tigers writes, I love it here. I'm glad. All them brothers crazy, man. Good brothers, though. Fame is crazy. Fame is nuts. Completely. Tis with the flick of the wrist. You know it. Has some respect. Nate's son is present, right? That's blasphemous. Yeah, my boy came in and had to give me a hug. You know, it's all good. Cincy Tigers writes, OMG, I'll be there. Charles Martin writes, Playoff P finally showed up. Giannis is merely a Robin. Yeah, I didn't watch any of the game, but Playoff P showed up. Had 37 points. I thought he was going to lose the game. Plus, they was in Utah, so it's a wrap. They're going to go back to L.A. and finish it off in Game 6. The best team always wins. So, I mean, the Lakers had a chance to get Tyronn Lue. They should have got Tyronn Lue over Frank Vogel. But they didn't do that. I don't know. That would be super dope, man. Where if you could own your own NBA franchise, that would be super dope. If I could own any sports franchise, it would be NBA. Just to be a part of that, that would be super great. Make those decisions. And then you got guaranteed money coming in. So you can't lose. The jockery is strong in this one. Yes, it is. Roy writes, good morning, everyone. Good to see you, Roy. Good to see everybody. Cincy Tigers writes, stop it, drop. They want to be safe, not profiled and brutalized by police. Absolutely. He's lying again. Brandy's cracking up. Drop is hilarious. He's been he's been promoted. Oh my God. Well, that's my time, folks. I only had a limited time this morning. I know the show started later, but I wanted to make sure I came to you with the show each and every day, as promised. I'll be back with you tomorrow morning, hopefully better than ever. Do you have an Xbox? You know what? I love the way you put that. Whoever put that way, I'm going to use that. I might do a short little show about that. An Xbox. What the hell? When you get married, you have to get rid of your Xbox. And I'm not talking about your video games. I'm talking about the box full of stuff from your exes. Ladies, why do you do this? Why do you do this? And, my thing is, if you're so unhappy, Jada, just leave. Just leave. But that takes courage and sacrifice. And in today's world, people want to have it all. They want to have their cake and eat it too. That's the way we are now. People feel like they should have whatever they want to have. Listen, that's my time. Have an excellent rest of your Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully better than ever. Remember our motto: winners focus on winning, losers focus on winners. Stay focused, stay winning. We'll talk real soon. Until next time, I'm out.